All right, drama clubbers, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to value and shade a flat surface to make it look like it has the illusion of carving for your columns for your set. So the first thing that we want to do is, since you guys are on your practice paper, but you'll also do this on your final paper, is grab a ruler and you want to make yourself some stripes. So I'm working off of these two guys here. Now, to begin, I'm just going to make my stripes about an inch wide, but then if you notice in here, in between each little indent, there's kind of a little skinnier relief, meaning like that part comes up. So I'm going to show you how to put that in there as well. So I would make that area, the sort of little relief area, about 1/4 of an inch. So find the 1/4 on the ruler. And you would do that. So then you're going to kind of just make a pattern where you're doing an inch and 1/4 of an inch. Now, in order to make this on a really, really large scale, which you will definitely be doing, you're going to have to change your proportions of your measurements. So in that case, 1/4 of an inch is 1/4 or 1/4 of an inch. So if you're going to make this part, let's say 4 inches, you would make this part 1 inch. And you can figure that out based on the size of your columns with Mrs. C. Okay, so now you're going to do the whole area. Just for time's sake, I'm going to stop here. Now, once you've done that, at the tops, you just want to kind of go across, but round the edges first. So they kind of dip in. So any of those, they're called Doric columns, have this kind of little dent up, and then above there, that's where that little decorative part would sit on top. So now we have something that looks like this. Now that you've drawn that all out, we want to start shading. Now, any of you that are in 6th grade or up that have had art with me this year, you're going to be more familiar with this because we talked about value scales and shading and things like that. Everyone else, you can just sort of catch on. So, if we look in here at this section, there's sort of a shadow in there. So what we're going to want to do is mix some gray. Now your column is going to be painted white, so this is going to work out well for you. We're going to just put a shadow in there, like that. Now because these are on stage, we want them to have a lot of contrast, which means that they need to really pop. So usually, if we were looking at this up close, I would have you blend this a little more and shade it, but when things are far away on stage, you don't want to do that as much because the viewer's eye kind of causes everything to blend together. So I'm going to do black. So I have black, a pretty stark gray, and then I'm going to mix a nice sort of light gray value, and I will paint that stripe here. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I will just repeat the same thing over here. Now up close, this does not look like a very well valued or well shaded piece of art, but from far away on stage, this is going to look pretty good. There. Now, you don't have to worry when you're doing this about making it, you know, every shadow the exact same width and everything, because depending on where light would be hitting this, it might all look different. Now, once I've done that on all of my columns, I'm going to want to get a thinner brush. And I'm just going to want to get a black line, get black paint, and just outline here. Okay, now you'll notice my lines are not perfect. That is okay. They're going to be on stage, they're going to be far away, people are not going to notice them. Okay, set design is very different than a painting that hangs on a wall in a museum. Okay, so from far away, this is really going to pop and give you that illusion of having those indented, carved columns.